BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. Sorry we didn't have one last 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but probably closer to 45 than an hour. You know, shit happened. We're live with another episode of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. Sorry we didn't have one last 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Before we go any further, probably closer to I would like to have my co-host shit introduce himself. Sir, introduce yourself.
Hello, it's Kenosha Abominito. Glad to be here in another one of these BS Busters.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. Before we go any further, what you been playing?
See, I've been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, getting through that. Playing through a little bit of Expedition 33.
Mm-hmm.
But all that, that's pretty much about it. What about you?
I've been playing a ton of old school games. I bought and downloaded the Contra Anniversary Collection just so I could play Contra 3 for the Super Nintendo, aka Super Contra. I'm contemplating pulling the bullet on the Gradius Collection, also from Konami. I realize I have a lot of Konami games in my Steam library, like a metric fuck ton of Konami games. You could say I'm kind of a Konami fanboy, because Konami hasn't figured out that they can sell these games bit by bit, piece by piece. So they've been selling collections, which are amazing because, since Nintendo got rid of their, I refuse to pay $19 a year or $39 or $50 or whatever the fuck it is, to play games on a subscription service when I could just buy some shit and get the game on on PC where I can play it whenever I want to. Like, they pulled the servers on the digital versions of the GTA games, the OG GTA PC games on Rockstar did. But because I have a license in perpetuity, I can still download and play those games on Steam. The power of digital. So yeah, that's the power of technology, which makes technology amazing. But that's just how I feel. Anyway, yeah. So I've just been playing a lot of old shit because old games. Everyone always wants to go with the newest, greatest, latest, but sometimes you got to go back to old school. Old school did it better sometimes. Like, for example, I'm going to say my favorite Legend of Zelda games are the old ones. I don't really like a lot of the new ones these days. I'll play them, and I'm like, this is fine, but I just, I like the traditional structure where it's like, you go into a dungeon, you get an item, you use that item to fight the boss, or an item from another dungeon to fight the boss, along with the item you found in the dungeon, and then you go to the next dungeon, and as you find items in dungeons, the world opens up and you can get to more areas in order to get more heart pieces, in order to open up to upgrade your character's abilities and skills. I like that type of thing. And
Yeah.
Ooh, apparently I wasn't live. Okay, we're live now. All right, let's do that one more time. What have you been playing, sir?
I'm playing Expedition 33 and Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Great.
What about you?
Great. I've been playing a lot of old stuff. Contra collection on the Steam. The Castlevania collections on Steam, both the handheld and the old school console ones. I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on the Gradius collection, even though it's like $39, but it comes with a new Gradius game, so I'm like, I might have to do it, you know what I'm saying? So, I've just been playing a lot of old stuff because, I like playing old video games because sometimes playing old shit is more enjoyable than playing new shit. Because old shit just, in some ways, feels more real, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like if I play an old video game, like I can really enjoy playing that old video game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I like playing. I like to me. I like the old Legend of Zelda games. I like the old Mario games. Um, I'm gonna say something that might be a little bit blasphemous to some Mario fans. I think the best 3D Mario games ever made thus far is Galaxy One and Two.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that Galaxy One and Two are the best like pure 3D Mario games that Nintendo has made. I think Odyssey feels like a sequel to Sunshine, but I don't really like Sunshine. I think the best parts of Sunshine were the levels, were the 3D, the block dimension levels where you lost the flood and it was just pure platforming. Because to me, Mario is at its best when it is that pure platforming. Um, where you know a good 3D Mario game should feel like Mario should feel like he's. Remember when we were kids and they had stuff like Nickelodeon Guts,
Yeah,
and they had those kids going through the obstacle course and shit. That's how a good 3D Mario game should be, where it's like you have this obstacle course of like you're going through these challenges, and like when you first play a 3D Mario game, you're gonna be cautious, but once you begin to understand the limitations of the physics and your move set, and once you have that down, you can traverse that world very easily. The problem with a lot of like modern 3D Mario games, I would say starting with Sunshine, is that they kind of have an over reliance on making the platforming easier for for certain people because they want to make it ultra accessible. Now, there's nothing wrong with accessibility, but like it shouldn't be crammed down our throat.
yeah,
And that's kind of like where I'm kind of like I don't really like, you know, they did it in Galaxy One and Two too, but you could kind of like play the game in such a way that made it harder. 3D like 3D world, 3D land. It like oh, if you die so many times, you can get the white Tanuki suit, which basically like plays the game for you. I'm like, what the fuck, man? It's like you know what? You know, I mean, I'm putting on my old man hat. You know what the easy mode was in Super Mario World? There was none. You just kept on dying until it was game over. And you lost all your lives.
yeah,
That was the end of it. You had to get good, or you didn't see the end of the game. Or you know, you did what I did and you cheated, uh, and fast ran to the end of the game to complete the Star Road. So basically, because uh, like in the original Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, if you got to the Donut Plains and then did that little shortcut to the second haunted house, and then you fought Big Blue, the Big Boo, and then got to the Star Road, you could complete the Star Road up to the point where you could get to Bowser's Castle, take the back door to Bowser's Castle, and then basically beat the game that way. Thereby enabling you to do the Star World early and change the world into the Halloween mode, and then just
yeah.
play through the game with the alternate costumes for all the enemies. Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. I was always a person. Yeah, even back then, I cheated in order. Well, I didn't cheat. I found ways to break the game in order to get farther ahead than I should. I sequence broke too, just not in Metroid, but Mario absolutely. So yeah, man. The point is this. You know, old school gaming was a lot less handholdy. I think the happy medium was during the fourth gen, where you had games that had a little like they were catered to help out to cater to new people, but they weren't so easy that it was like if you're an experienced gamer, you felt like you were being talked down to. Case in point, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. Yeah, Link to the Past isn't as cryptic as the original Legend of Zelda or Legend of Zelda 2 on the NES, but uh, there are moments in that game where it's like, oh yeah, yeah, you can go over here, but you'll be facing enemies that can kick your ass. For example, like the second time you go to the Dark World in that game, like yeah, you can go to Death Mountain, you know, early on, and you'll be fighting Lionels that can basically one shot you. Like one hit takes away 6 to 8 hearts. It's like, well,
Yeah.
shit. At that point, even if you've been playing like perfectly and found a lot of heart pieces, you might have 10 heart pieces at that point in the game. So 2 attacks from a Lionel and you're dead. So you kind of have to know, oh, I have to actually level up. Well, you don't really have levels in Legend of Zelda. I have to go and get better equipment. I have to get, a better shield. I have to get the blue mail. I have to get, I have to get fortified hearts. It's like, wow, I actually have to explore and make my character more powerful because, this is why I always say The Legend of Zelda is not an RPG because Link you can kill enemies all week as Link. The only thing you'll get is rupees and hearts, and maybe a few magic drops. Really, Link is like The Legend of Zelda is an adventure game. Link is an adventurer. The only way he gets more powerful is by finding better equipment. But it is what it is. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get to our first topic, which is the Nintendo Indie Direct. Haha. So, we're just going to talk about some of the games they mentioned and whether or not we give a shit or care. So, you want to get started?
Yeah. What was the first game they showed?
Mina the Hollower. I'm looking forward to this game, but it's coming to everything. But this game looks like what I wish the Link's Awakening remake had been, in my opinion, versus what we got, which I felt was kind of like when I hear like developers of the original, like the people who hold the rights to the original thing, they're like, we're going to remake this game, but we're going to remake it in an art style that completely belies what the spirit and the intent of the original art style was. And I'm like, and they're like, well, no one wants to play a game that looks like an old Game Boy Color game. And then I look at Mina the Hollower, and I'm like, this is what, if you had better technology, you could have been doing the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
Hopefully,
it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it
sure, it's
does.
the Shovel Knight people, but still, this looks like, man. I mean, could you imagine if if the remake of Link's Awakening had been something like this versus that bullshit we got? Because I mean, I know a lot of people like that game, but I was like, I don't like this. This
Yeah,
does
that game
not,
was.
I like,
They needed an excuse to charge people $60 for that game too.
yeah,
And $60, even in the new art style, $60 was still too much of an asking
yeah,
for
and they
that
didn't add
game.
they didn't add any new content except for, oh, you can create your own dungeons. I'm like, so you didn't even include the content you had from the Game Boy Color version, the deluxe version you had back in the day. Like, this is a step backwards. It's like, why are you just taking a step back? It's like, I'm whatever, whatever. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Mina the Hollower. The only problem is it's coming to everything. They're like, it's coming to the Switch and the Switch too. Yeah, but it's coming to everything. And it's coming out October 31st. So I will be getting this game. This game looks like I said, if you wanted if you were a fan of Link's Awakening or Oracle of Ages or Oracle Seasons, and you were like, why doesn't Nintendo make games like that anymore? The Shovel Knight dev said, well, we got you. We got you. You play as a little a mouse person who lives in a Game Boy Color world, and it looks pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely be getting this. I will not be getting it off of for the Switch though, or the Switch 2. I'll be getting it on PC where I can cheat. Download a trainer. uh, Next game, Well Dweller. You ever wanted to play as a tiny bird armed with a matchstick? Well, you can in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, really? I mean, okay. I don't necessarily. I'm not gonna say this, but I mean, I'm not saying this is a pejorative. It looks like this game is heavily inspired by Hollow Knight.
Yeah, this is the like there's only like there's probably only like one game in this whole this whole direction that I was interested in. That was the first game.
Mina the Hollower. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, Well
everything
Dweller
else.
looks good. Well Dweller, like I'll probably get this on PC. It looks good. It looks like one of those, you know, it's you can clearly it's where it's wears its inspiration on its sleeve. This is very much inspired by Hollow Knight. Um, Not that there's anything wrong with that, because Hollow Knight is a good game. Like if you're gonna be inspired by a good game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and it looks good. Um, you know, I'll have to see more because it looks good. It looks like it's heavily inspired by Hollow Knight, but the problem is that Hollow Knight has some mobility issues because the titular main character of that game, the Hollow Knight, he is very stiff in his movements.
Yeah.
They're very precise and particular. And if I'm playing a platformer, I don't want to play a character who's very you know, like I can only jump so far. I can only do so many moves before I have to sit down. And like that whole stamina shit, I hate that in games. I hate stamina shit. It's like, oh, you can only do so much of this. It's like, man, come on. Shit.
Yeah.
But hey, then they did Neverway, which I have to agree with you. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is a what the fuck game. The real what the fuck is, why does the lady who helped create it look like the main character too? I'm like, that lady looks creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Looks like some Wednesday Addams shit right here. But look, listen. This might not be for me, but I'm pretty sure someone will like it. I'm not into what the fuckery type games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
One reason I didn't play Celeste was because there was that what the fuck aspect. I was like, what the fuck is this? Is this a dream? Is someone being murdered? I don't know. And plus, I don't like hard as nails games. Oh, well, this game, one hit and you die. I'm like, why do I want to play something like that? I want to enjoy the game, And I say this as someone who played like Donkey Kong Country back in the day, which was a one hit and you're dead type. Yeah. But you felt like when you died in that game, it was your fault. These games now, they're like, oh, you died. That's because the mechanics suck. Blame the mechanics, not my lack of skill. Yeah, so I probably won't get this. The blurb, the description blurb under this game says, "Quit your job and work for an immortal deity in Neverway, a nightmarish pixel art RPG that looks kind of 16-bit Zelda-ish." No, it doesn't. Okay, you want to see a 16-bit Zelda game? Go look at Link to the Past. There you go. With pixel art from the artist behind Celeste and music from the composer of Fez and Hyper Light Drifter. Neverway is coming to Nintendo Switch in 2026. So, surely this will find someone's niche, and I'll probably get it. Well, I don't know. If it comes on PC, I'll get it. I'm not going to get it on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Herdling. This is the game where you play a herder of some weird type of creatures, and you're like a shepherd, and you have to utilize the creatures to solve puzzles, environmental puzzles and shit. It looks interesting. This looks like a game kind of like that game that was on the PlayStation 4 when it first came out, where you like play this like person with the damn scarf wandering around in a desert and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of like that. And if you like games like that, we got something for you. It comes out next week on Thursday, the 21st. So, they got something for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, listen, it probably won't do shit for me, but, like, if it's on a Steam sale, I'll get it, I'll try it out, see what's going on. Next we have Is This Seat Taken? Now, I know you said that none of the other games really did anything for you, but this looks interesting to me. Like a little puzzle where you got to sit people down, and if they don't like where they are, they get angry, so you got to it's like a little puzzle game where you got to put them right where they need to be to make things work. I'm like, that looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, actually, they look a little amusing.
As long as, if it's like a $15-$20 game, no problem. If
Yeah.
they're charging like 30 or 40 or $39.99, which is basically just functionally $40, fuck that. Fuck that. I am not spending that much money. Matter of fact, I think it's on Steam. Let me see. Is this seat taken? Is this seat taken? Oh, it's like an $8.99 game. Okay, yeah. This is totally worth it. For $8.99, and that's with 10% off, so really it's $10. That's perfect. That's no problem. I wouldn't mind spending $10 on a game where you have to help little people sit down and next to people, have the proper seating so people don't get pissed. Sure, why not? Yeah. For $10, why the hell not? Why not? That's fair. You know what I mean? You're helping out an indie dev for a nice little game that looks like you can just play it for a little bit of time, then put it down, go do something else. It's a time waster game.
Yeah, that'd be nice to game to play while sitting and waiting for your airplane or something like that.
Oh yeah. Or if you're one of those lucky bastards who has a Steam Deck, you got a Steam Deck, you're at work, you got a break, or you're waiting to get picked up, or whatever, or you take mass transit to where you're going, just pull the thing out, play a few rounds, put the shit away, you're good. Yeah. Next, we got Little Kitty, Big City, or as I like to call it in my head, because I'm an asshole, Little Kitty, Big Shitty. I'm not a cat person. I'm sorry. Yeah, so they're adding new. This is a disturbing trend that I'm getting tired of with these announcements. Stop announcing DLC.
Yeah.
That is really unless it's like DLC that's like amazing. Like, oh my god, they're adding like 50% more game. Okay, cool. But if it's just like, oh, we have new customization options for your cat and new neighborhood. Well, actually, yeah, this is a lot of content. It's new. It's new neighborhoods to explore, new friends, a new photo mode. So if you really like cats, which there are people who really fucking like cats, so this is for you. If you really like cats, they got a game for you to get your cat fetish in. Not sexual fetish, just like you're obsessed with cats and their little toe beans and shit. There you go, folks. Little Kitty, Big City. Although the puns, picture perfect update, man. Fuck that. Next, we have Content Warning. You become a streamer in a silly co-op horror game called Content Warning, where you'll try to rack up viewers and cash on a streaming service called SpookTube. And you go viral or you die trying when Content Warning comes to the Switch and the Switch 2 in 2026. I mean, this game, the whole shaky cam thing, looks really shitty to me. and I don't like it. Like, this looks like some of that shovelware that came out on the Wii back in the day, remember?
Yeah.
And yet I know some motherfuckers who have stream setups, video game streaming setups, are gonna play this shit on Twitch and make a lot of money off of it. Am I right?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So, I mean, this isn't for me, but I know some people are gonna enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next we have Ball X Pit. Um, it's basically, I don't know, I want to say kind of like a Breakout clone. Yeah, it's kind of like a Breakout game, except it's like a shoot 'em up. You play a character who shoots like balls at enemies and shit, and as you break
Yeah.
stuff, power ups drop down. This actually looks like it could be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another game that looked semi interesting.
Yeah. Here, I'll look it up. If it's on Steam, I'll see what the pricing is. If it's not ridiculously high priced, this looks like something that you might want to take a look at. Let's see, Ball X Pit. Sounds a little weird. Ball X Pit. Price. Okay, it hasn't told me what the price is, but it looks interesting. There's a demo. It looks interesting. Yeah. And it's coming out October 15th, so I don't know what the price is yet, but it looks like it would be a fun game to play. You know, like one of those, like, you just sit down, you're like, I'm just going to play for 10 minutes, and then it turns into like an hour. You're like, damn!
Yeah.
I've been playing for an hour, fuck. How could this happen? So yeah, Ball X Pit looks interesting. Ultimate Sheep Raccoon is the next one. It's a racing game. It looks like a 2D racing game where you basically have to like traverse the area with all these gadgets and shit. This is kind of like those games where you like ride on a motorcycle or a bicycle on a 2D plane, and you basically got to do tricks and shit in order to get a boost and get stuff in order to earn money, which you can use to upgrade your shit. And apparently this game is cross-platform, 8 players. This is one of those games where you got to have people to play with you, because I'm pretty sure if you're playing by yourself, it wouldn't be that fun unless they have a thing where you can create tracks and share them with people. Oh, there you go. You can create the track and share. Okay. So basically, it's a bike racing party game where you and your friends build the course together, then race a wacky track with deadly. So I guess this would be a fun little party game, you know? Like, once again, I mean, this is more that streamer stuff where if you're a streamer on Twitch and you open a lobby and you get some friends together and y'all just play through while talking shit, you can make some money. This is a streaming game.
Yeah.
Next we have Glaciered, which has an interesting premise. It's set 65 million years in the future. You play an avian creature that evolved to swim underwater, and you battle marine beasts to become the Overwinter's ultimate protector in Glacier. So basically what this sounds like, it sounds like a next-gen version of Echo, but without the frustration. Echo the dolphin.
Yeah.
Hey, remember Echo? The like old school people who like over the age of 30, 35, they're like, man, Echo the Dolphin was amazing. Go back and try and play that shit. Echo the Dolphin sucks. All of them. Even the 3D one that was on the Dreamcast was trash.
Yeah. I know that's like a touchdown to Sega.
Yeah. But Echo was just not very good in my opinion. It was not a good. So this combat looks very Panzer Dragoonish with some melee. Like you can like lock on the enemies and shoot energy stuff at them. You can level up. Actually, this looks like this. You can level up and evolve your body. Like so, this is some Evo shit. Oh my god. Oh, okay, okay. I see what they're doing here. Okay, okay, okay. I might get this. Let me look this up on Steam. 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 Glaciered, also coming to PC later on this year.
Where am I?
So there you go, folks. So basically, from what I've been able to see from the little things, Glaciered is like a take on Evo. If any of you ever played Evo, Evo was a game where it was originally on the PC 98, like it was on PC in Japan, where you basically play this creature who essentially you're supposed to guide evolution on Earth in order to stop, you know, Mother Earth Gaia's nemesis from destroying all life in the solar system, and particularly the Earth. And basically, like it's a RPG. Like you have standard RPG turn-based combat in the PC version. They then ported that game to the SNES, but it's completely different. Like the combat is more actiony. Um, you can choose different body parts to evolve onto yourself, and the overall mission is to evolve into a human so that you can go to the Garden of Eden and hook up with Gaia. So it's completely the story is completely different on the SNES. Yes, yes. At the end of the game, the happy ending of Evo on the SNES is that you basically get to turn into a human being. Then you get uplifted into being like a celestial, immortal being, and then you get to go to the Garden of Eden and spend eternity giving it to Gaia. I mean, that's literally a happy ending. That's a very happy ending. I mean, that is a happy as fuck ending. Because Gaia in the game's kind of hot. So, I mean, shit. Look, they changed the game, but it kind of works. Okay, so I'm just saying. But Glacier looks like a next gen version, reimagining of Evo and Panzer Dragoon and Echo the Dolphin. Now, here's the thing. Is it going to be all that? Probably not. Because, like, it's very rare that people come out with a completely new fucking gameplay concept. A lot of gameplay concepts just keep on getting reiterated on over and over again with minor tweaks in order to make something better or in some cases worse than previous iterations. So, but I'm just saying from my point of view as someone who played those old games, I'm just relating what I saw. Also coming out is a new version. There's a Nintendo Switch version of UFO 50 out. There's a Tiny Bookshop, Strange Horticulture sequel, Strange Antiquities, Opus Prism Peak, Go Go Town, a 2D turn-based roguelike Caves of Kud. It's coming to the Switch this winter. Undusted Letters from the Past, and Winter Burrow, where you play a mouse returning home to restore their childhood burrow. It's coming out this winter. I mean, you know, it was fine. It was fine. It was fine. Okay? It was fine. Not the best, but it was fine.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think we've said all we can say about it, about that direct. Should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
All right. Next topic is more BioWare is fucked. BioWare-isms, BioWare shenanigans. So basically, BioWare, one of BioWare's most well-known games is Dragon Age. Now, Dragon Age apparently was never meant to be a series. It was going to be Origins, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
However, due to Origins being relatively cheap to make and doing relatively well compared to its budget to make it, um, they greenlit sequels. However, uh, those sequels were kind of shit. So they were kind of shit. So basically, with that being said, the reasons why is because money. But the sad thing about all this is that Dragon Age Origins, in my opinion, is the best game in the series. Dragon Age 2 felt like it was rushed because it was. You know that game had an 18-month turnaround, and there's only one studio I know of that can make a full complete game in 18 months and it still be pretty goddamn good, and it ain't BioWare.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one studio I know, well, two, that can have that quick of a turnaround with a game and it be fairly decent. That's Obsidian and Platinum. And that's a very small list. Um, that's a very short list. It's only two studios. BioWare is not one of them. Dragon Age Origins, I'm a fan of the franchise, but in terms of writing, characters, nuanced characters, storylines, way better than Dragon Age 2, which Dragon Age 2 could have worked had it and had another year in the oven instead of, a year and a half. And I'm being very liberal with that half because I'm guessing that game took a year of actual development and then they had maybe 2 or 3 months of let's polish it up as much as we can and then it went gold. Um, and you can tell because Dragon Age 2 is a lot of reused assets over and over and over again. But the central concept of having an RPG where instead of you having a massive, like a whole bunch of areas to explore, you have a city, a living, breathing city, and its outskirts and maybe like some areas outside of the city to explore. That could work. You could do an RPG now where you have a massive living, breathing city and a group of adventurers going out of the city, doing missions, then coming back to the city, shit like that. But like the technology wasn't there at the time, and also BioWare wasn't that good. Like they have good ideas, their execution is never that great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Uh, so what are your thoughts on this? Do you have anything you'd like to say? Dive in, if you will.
Um. Yeah, there was a seemed like a big. It seemed like a really quick turnaround for Dragon Age, and then Dragon Age 1, and then Dragon Age 2.
Yeah,
Seemed
they announced it,
like
and then like a few, like they were like, "Yeah, it's coming out next year." I'm like, "What?"
yeah, that game came out really fast. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
It felt like there was such a short window between uh, the 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 Dragon Age games.
yep,
The first two games, like, wouldn't you want to take a little more time with this? But it's
I
EA and
agree.
whatnot, so they just that's what happens when you're owned by EA.
Yeah, EA's like, look, EA is like a pimp with a hooker. It's like, look, I just had the baby. I'm not healed up. You better get your ass out there on the corner. But I'm not. I'm still. I'm not ready yet. You better do something. Shit. If you don't get out there, I will bury my foot right dead up your ass. Like that's the type of shit. EA. It's like, god damn. This is hardcore. Yeah, man. Yeah, and plus, and don't forget, they were also getting out Mass Effect 2 as well at the time.
Yeah, those They came out practically at the same time, didn't they?
I think like Mass Effect 2 came out, and then like Dragon Age. Here, let me look it up. Because I'm reasonably certain that they came out like almost right on top of each other. See, Wikipedia, BioWare, BioWare. I'm gonna put this in the dark mode because I don't like bright ass fucking lights. BioWare. Games developed. List of BioWare games should be. Okay, let's see. Mass Effect. Mass Effect. Dragon Age Origins. Okay, they were working on Dragon Age Origins and Mass Effect 2 around the same time. Like, Dragon Age Origins came out, and then Mass Effect 2 came out. And then between Mass Effect 2 came out 2010, Dragon Age 2 came out 2011.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there was no way, because Dragon Age Origins is amazing. Mass Effect 2 is pretty goddamn good. There was no way in hell they gave 100% of their attention to Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it. Yep. Couldn't do it. Could not fucking do it. So, like, people are like, man, why was Dragon Age 2 such shit? Because they didn't have time. Their A and B team, you could say their A team was working on Dragon Age Origins. Their B team was working on Mass Effect 2. Their C team was working on Dragon Age 2. And you could tell they were C students. Okay? I mean, it's like, God damn, this fucking Jesus. That's why you had all the reused assets, because they were cutting corners to meet the deadlines. Okay, that BioWare magic, the box was empty. There was nothing in that box. It was empty. They said abracadabra and opened it. It was still fucking empty. Was that cruel of me? Yes, but fuck it. Anyway, do you have any thoughts before we move on to the next topic, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the BioWare magic was probably lost after Mass Effect 2.
Yeah,
I think
because
they
Mass
ever got
Effect
it back.
3 was like, it's interesting to see how Mass Effect changed over all those 3 games. No, I'm sorry to cut you off. Were you still talking?
Oh, all I was just gonna say is they never got it back after Mass Effect 2 was over.
Yeah, and it was strange how you could see in both of their RPG franchises how they kind of went from being like, the first Mass Effect is very RPG forward with some shooting in the background. The first Dragon Age is very much an RPG. It's a squad based RPG. Then you go to Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is very much like, it's an action art. It's a RPG action shooter. It's a cover-based RPG action shooter. Nothing wrong with that. Mass Effect 2 is great, but like, from Mass Effect 1, where you had different weapons and stats for everything, to Mass Effect 2, which is very like cover-based action shootery, but you had the good writing and the characters, so that kind of carried a lot of it. You know what I mean? We kind of let a lot of shit go. But the jump between Dragon Age and Dragon Age Origins and Awakening to Dragon Age 2, ooh boy, Dragon Age 2 is a dumpster fire. Ooh. And then you go from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3 with that shit ass ending, to Dragon Age 2 to Dragon Age Inquisition. Ugh. Bad. stuff. Yeah. So yeah, you can see the downward spiral of this studio as time went on. You know, and for the longest time we blamed EA solely, but you can't say it was all EA. You know, I would say that when the two founders of BioWare left, the two brothers, Ray and Greg, sorry, not the brothers, the Ray Musica and Greg Zeshik, when they left, that was when the founders
Yeah.
leave, the studio is done. You know, like when the Stamper brothers left Rare, it was done. Like Rare doesn't exist anymore. All right. Anyway, next story: Mafia, the Old Country. Apparently, it's not very good.
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm surprised.
That's sad.
I mean, you know, it's the Mafia series. They haven't really done anything with it. Um, you know, I personally liked Mafia 3. I know a lot of people didn't. I liked Mafia 3 just because I liked the concept of playing a black guy in the 60s in the South shooting
Yeah.
racist white people like Klansmen. I was like, oh, this is great. But, you know, I'm a special case. I'm a black person who lives in the South who's had to deal with racism. So, you know, I'm kind of, I may be a bit biased. It's like, oh, this Klansman called my character boy and the N word. Oh, what shall I do? Now, where can I hide the body? I can take him out and throw him in the bayou so the alligators can get his ass. Which I did in Mafia 3 quite a bit. But
Yeah.
you know, that's very you know, I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? You know, I'm kind of you know, like I said, I'm biased to that particular type of game because I don't. There's certain types of characters. There's certain types of stories and characters I don't like, and seeing them get their comeuppance, I like. Uh, so,
Yeah.
but you know, to each his own. To each his own. You know. Um, but yeah, that's my. But anyway, so but the latest Mafia game takes it back to old school. We're going. It's the origins of the Mafia, which I mean, I'm not sure people want to see an origin of the Mafia. I don't particularly don't, but you know, like for those of you who watched The Godfather Part 2 and you enjoyed seeing young Don Corleone, seeing his mom get gunned down, and you were like, ah, man, I gotta. I want to see what it was like before the 1930s hit, when it was like like in the 1910s. There you go. I mean, that doesn't do shit for me, but to each his own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that. It's
So,
an origin story, so you probably know everybody that's gonna fail or die already died. So.
I mean, there's a few characters in the game that are like a few side characters that are important to later games in the series, especially the first Mafia and the second Mafia. It doesn't do anything for me personally, just because I never really liked like the first Mafia was boring as shit. Like it had a semi-open world, but it wasn't really an open world. If you get what I'm saying, it was like a it was like okay, like between missions, and this game has returned to that. Between missions, you're basically you're basically going to certain places. Like the open world is pretty empty except for traffic and shit. But I mean, like I'm not saying that you need to have a open world that's filled with shit to do, like a GTA game or Saints Row or heaven forbid, like those fucking Far Cry games. But I mean, there needs like the open world needs to feel lived in. You know, like okay, if you're playing GTA, right? Have you ever been playing like any of the old like sixth gen GTA games, and like you had to go do a mission, like you had to go to a location and start a mission, and you just turn on the radio and you start just driving around listening to the radio, and you get so into to the songs on the radio and the little talk shows that you don't even touch the mission. You just drive around, just listen to the music.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I have never experienced like the Mafia games are not like that. It is like boring as shit. And this game's even worse because you don't even have cars. You're on horseback.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like it suffers from the Red Dead Redemption problem. But hey, if you really like The Godfather and you were like, man, I really want to do rock it old school style and shoot people in the face, Mafia, and it's only $50. So
Yeah, it's you know, oh, we're talking about traveling. I know one of the things Red Dead Redemption 2 got a lot of credit for was like how realistic it was, and how you needed to eat, and how your horse needed to eat, or else it would die. It's like that stuff doesn't sound fun to me. I hate when games add ultra realistic things
yeah,
into it.
it it,
Ah,
it wasn't
it
fun.
just starts, it
Yeah,
starts
like
feeling like a video game and starts feeling like a chore.
yeah. I mean, it's the reason why. Like I try, man. I played Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. I tried to get into those games, and they weren't fun. The only Western style game where you're on horseback doing shit, where I was like, okay, this is fun, was Gun. And you want to know why Gun was fun? Because Gun gamified it. Your horse didn't have to eat. Your character Colt was an insanely good shot on horseback. There was distractions. You could get ambushed. Like you'd have like outlaws try to bushwhack you and rob you, so you had to shoot their asses down. There was like hunting. There was bounty hunting you could do. You could go and gamble. You could go to the whorehouse and get a little bit of relief. I mean, you could like there was a lot of shit you could do in the game. It's like, oh, this is enjoyable. Like, who the fuck wants to play a realistic cowboy game?
Yeah, where it
Except for
takes
the
like
people who fucking love Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2.
it takes like
I'm not one of
15
them.
minutes.
What?
It takes like 15 minutes to load your freaking gun to shoot
Yeah.
one shot.
Yeah, man, look, listen. I have said this before about Rockstar. Rockstar, if you ever get around to making another Red Dead Redemption, here's what you do. Okay, don't make it fucking realistic. Don't try to make a treatise on the loss of the West and the approach of civilization, all that shit. Just rip off the fucking Clint Eastwood, Sergio Leone westerns, like the spaghetti westerns. Set it, hell, if you don't even put it in America, put it in fucking Spain, where they were still riding on horsebacks and shit, and just have people riding around doing cowboy badass bounty hunting, bank robbing, horn in whorehouses, gold cannon, fighting Indians, do shit like that. Don't fucking the loss of the Western Civil. Man, fuck you. People don't want to do that shit. People want to be Clint Eastwood from the Man with No Name trilogy, where he's like, okay, I'll tell you what. All right, we gotta go by the rules. I'm gonna throw this can in the air, and when it hits the ground, we'll draw. throws the can up in the air, shoots all the other motherfuckers before the can hits the ground, and they're dead and he's not. Some shit like that. Don't give us no realistic shit. Okay? And when someone's and pay Rockstar, you got the fucking money. Pay some money to get Sergio Leone, to get Ennio Morricone, the guy who did the soundtrack for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and all of Sergio Leone's westerns. Pay his estate and just don't even make a Red Dead Redemption. Make a goddamn Man with No Name game and fucking have those songs playing when you're riding around on horseback. A radio doesn't make sense, but fucking having, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly theme while you're riding around, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Anyway, next topic, final topic before we move on to unpopular opinion. Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion has been turned into an MMO Lite, and I'm all for it. I'll get it on PC because I remember playing that game on the Switch. Oh man, that game fucking struggled. Oh yeah, Jesus Christ!
I want my high frame rate. I want my high frame rate, so I'm getting it on PC.
Yeah, man. I don't even want a high frame rate. I just want a stable fucking frame rate. look, I'll take 60. I'll even take 30 frames solid. But on the Switch, that shit was dipping down into the below the sub teens, like 8-9 frames per second. If there was a lot of shit going on, and like Nintendo fans had the nerve, oh no, this game is great. I'm like, what are you playing it on? Are you smearing your face with Vaseline, your eyes with Vaseline before you play it? Shit. Anyway, that's my opinion. So I guess we can move on to unpopular opinion. The unpopular opinion is, do you want to go first?
No, you can go first. You can go first.
All right. My unpopular opinion is this. True or false? I don't care. I'm just gonna say it. Nintendo kind of lost its heart when Satoru Iwata died, and the new guy sucks. He sucks. And also, I hope Nintendo loses their lawsuit against the Palmon guys, because there needs to be competition in the sphere of monster-based video games. It can't all be just everything has to be fucking Pokemon and everything has to be Pokemon, because Pokemon is lackluster these days.
Yeah, I agree.
It's lame, if you will. Nothing new has, there's no innovation being done with this franchise. And we used to have someone on our cast who would disagree when I said this, but I'm going to say it again. When they came out with that generation where they had a fucking set of keys as a Pokemon, y'all should have been like, they've run out of ideas.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, this is so imaginative. I'm like, fuck you, no. Okay, someone was given a deadline and they were running out of their house to go to work, and they were like, shit, I gotta come up with something. Johnson, you got an idea for a new Pokemon? And they started jiggling their keys in their pocket. Yeah, clef key. That's what happened, okay? Draw it up, Johnson, tonight. Okay? They've run out of ideas for Pokemon, okay? There, I said it. And if you guys disagree, I mean, you can disagree, but if you can prove me wrong, do it. You cannot tell me that the Pokemon they have now are more are more the Pokemon they have now are more innovative than the Pokemon they had back in the day. And we'll give a little bit of an aside for it was early on and et cetera, and it hadn't been going as long. But seriously, fucking ice cream cone, a set of keys.
Man, it's not like they ran out of ideas, but it's just funny to see when the fans have cooler and better ideas than they could ever have, and then they end up getting shut down.
Oh yeah, yeah. How dare you, you bastard! You look. This shit needs to be lame like we are.
Like that, what was that? Um, that nuclear Pokemon game,
Pokemon Uranium. Yeah,
Pokemon
you can't
Uranium.
even.
Yeah,
They shut it down. I mean, it's on the internet, so you can still get it, but you got to sail the high seas.
yeah,
Like the thing that bothers me about Nintendo is that there's just minor things like okay, they're like we don't want to mess up the stuff. Okay, cool. But you're like I understand you guys want to make money on the core game. I understand that. But there's other shit y'all could be doing. Like just give us a Pokemon game where you can choose your path for the end game, like from the start to the end game. Like okay, you can choose to be I'm going to be a Pokemon trainer, I'm going to fight, eventually wind up fighting the Elite Four. Okay, cool. Okay, have a path where okay, I'm going to be a Pokemon detective, and you just solve crimes and shit. Or hey, I'm going to be a trainer, but instead of starting out with a fire, water, or plant type starter, I'm going to start as a bug type trainer. You start the game with 3 bug type Pokemon. Because bug type in the early game are like really fucking powerful. It's only like later on they kind of fall apart because their in game potential kind of their growth kind of plateaus out once they get their 3rd evolution.
yeah.
Do some shit like that, but don't give us the shit you've been giving us. That's all I'm saying. All right, is that too much to ask? Am I the asshole here?
Yeah. For many,
Anyway,
no, but for some, sure.
what?
For many, no, but for some, sure.
All
Some
right.
many would disagree. Many would there are few who disagree. Many who would probably agree.
Yeah, and they would say, "Oh, well, but it can't be different." I'm like, I'm not saying it be different. I'm saying give people the option of doing something different aside from the same shit every damn game. How many times can we fight the Elite Four and have some insert Team Rocket analog? It gets old, man.
Yeah,
Anyway,
exactly.
that's my opinion. Do you have an unpopular opinion you'd like to share?
Um, we need Intel to get their head out of their ass because we don't want AMD to be the only CPU manufacturer. That's gonna be really bad for the computer industry.
Yeah, yeah, you need to have competition.
um,
I mean, to be fair, you need competition in everything.
yeah,
I don't know why
yeah,
people don't understand this. You need competition in everything. Sports, video games. It's not good when the only people really making money on their console is Nintendo. That's not good. Okay, it's not good that Sony basically steamrolled Microsoft when it came to console sales. Because when you don't have competition, you get the shit we got during last gen with Sony just like fucking everybody over, and no one said anything because they were just Sony fanboys. I like Sony; they're good people. They're my friends. Like, how the fuck is a company gonna be your friend? Anyway, that's my opinion. It may be unpopular. It may be a hot take. Whatever. Pimp out your content, sir.
The music's on Spotify now, so check that out. Synaptic Garden. Um, Give it a listen to. Got a couple singles out.
Oh,
So yeah.
okay. Mr. I am an artiste. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. Um, uh, our schedule's going to be a little weird over the next week or so. I think we'll have another cast next Tuesday just because I'm working Wednesday and Thursday. But I think we'll go back to normal. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no. No. We can go back to normal next week, the 20th and the 27th. We will go back to normal. Yes. How you like them apples?
Yeah, sounds fine to me.
All right. So we will go back to our normal scheduled programming next week and the week after, and from henceforth, hopefully, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try. I'm in the process of getting my other PC fixed up, with the new card and the hard drives and everything like that. If I can't get it done, I'll probably just take it to someone who will do it and spend like $300-$400 to get it done. But fuck it, it's a better PC. Once I get the better hard drive space, I can just put all of my Steam library on those SSD M.2 NVMe drives, which is going to be great because it'll be faster. So yeah, we'll be all right. Anyway, that's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, play your games. Peace and